Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi. Could you please stand for the posting of colors by the Booker T. Washington High School JROTC and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, the Texas Pledge, and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and, and indivisible. Please remain for a moment of silence. Thank you so much. Just a friendly announcement. We do have Trina Wright in the back. Could you wave your hand, please? She will be giving folks cue cards so that you know when to wrap things up. Hi, everyone. It's lovely to meet you. My name is Maria Trevino Rodriguez. I will be your MC for the day. I've been joking around with folks that I'm glad that I haven't been fired because I actually lost my voice on Monday. But this just really proves that the HISD Dream Summit gives voice to the voiceless. I'm really excited to be here today, mostly because Houston has been my home since I was 1 year old, and I'm now 28, so it's been a while. I currently work for the Texas Civil Rights Project, and I oversee their fundraising events across the entire state, and currently serve as the president of our workers' union. My work has supported in the past congressional, statewide, and local elected officials, including getting to office our first Latina congressional elected from Houston, Sylvia Garcia. I've worked as a Latinx field organizer for the Harris County Democratic Party and communications director for the LGBTQ political caucus. In 2019, I was nominated for the Youth Activist Award for the City of Houston's Hispanic Heritage Month. And more than anything, this Dream Summit's very important to me because I myself am a dreamer. I found out that I was a dreamer my senior year in high school, like many of you all. And I believe that HISD students are at the nexus of America, of the future of our country, our state, and our city. More than anything, I know that you all know the need to do things, to shake things up, not only for yourselves, but for your communities and your families. And I'm really excited for you to be able to use today's informational sessions to not only catapult your own future, but to ensure that you're bringing back resources to Houston, which is now your home, and really pushing folks to hear and listen to your needs and to really empower others who may be suffering from similar situations as you and myself. So thank you for being here. Always remember that you're the future of America. I can't believe I'm talking to high school students when I feel like I was just there like moments ago. I know that you all are very strong. You're having to be extremely resourceful, and that you're smart and committed to building a better future for yourselves and your families. And I'm so excited to see what each and every one of you do with the things that you will learn today, and that you have been learning throughout the course of your lives. Make the most of today because it is for you, our dreamers. See myself and every other adult in this room as your mentor and an educator. And please don't ever feel uncomfortable asking for help. It's not a weakness, it's really an opportunity for you to empower yourself. People rely on others in order to build a brighter future, and that's never a bad thing. At this time, I would like to introduce David Johnston, Executive Officer of College and Career Readiness for the Houston Independent School District. Mr. Johnston began his career with HISD in 1996, teaching English language learners at Wisdom High School, which used to be Lee High School. He started the school's first student organization focused on immigrant students called Club of the Americas, and was recognized as HISD's ESL Teacher of the Year. In 2001, he opened the district's first college center. A little crazy to hear that that was in 2001. He jokes that they gave him a milk carton filled with outdated college flyers to start with, but soon the center became the heart of our school with a computer lab and workstations. Since joining HISD's College Readiness Department in 2015, he spearheaded innovative initiatives including HISD's annual Dream Summit, the district's first HBCU College Night, and the build-out of Copilot, a data and communication software that connects students and college advisors. He is most proud of his advocacy work. In 1998, he co-founded the Coalition of Higher Education for Immigrant Students, which spearheaded the grassroots effort to pass House Bill 1403 in 2001. This law, thankfully, the first in the country, provides eligible immigrant students in-state tuition and Texas financial aid, which allowed students like me to go to University of Houston and pay in-state tuition. He has been recognized for his advocacy work, receiving the Humanitarian Award for the Houston Counseling Association and the Outstanding Community Partner Award from the Houston Community College. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone else, please join me in welcoming to the podium David Johnston.
First of all, I wanted to say it's an incredible honor to speak to this group of young people today. And so I'm going to share some remarks, but at the back of that of the remarks that I say is just a deep appreciation for you guys for waking up on a Saturday morning and coming out here to take control of your future. That just speaks so highly of each of you here. So first of all, I want to welcome everyone to the Dream Summit. This is a special day of college exploration for HISD students born outside of the United States. I commend you for taking ownership of your education today, for coming here, as I said, on a Saturday to learn more about your college and career options as a dreamer. We hope you gain a better understanding of what is possible, as well as all of the resources available here in HISD to support you on your journey. And it was great as I walked in this morning just to see, and thank you for all of the colleges and nonprofits and community service providers that came and set up tables. And so students, please take time and really get cards, get information from those tables outside. It's an incredible resource that this day provides. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge our trustees of Board of Education, one of whom has joined us today. Our trustees, they sit up here twice a month. They give up a lot of time to run this district. They represent students and families across our city and work tirelessly to advocate for policies and programs that make our school district stronger. Board President Judith Cruz is a native of Texas. She is here with us today, who grew up in a bilingual speaking home, as her mother is from Guatemala. She has more than 20 years of experience as an educator and volunteer in public schools and has worked in numerous roles to broaden the worldview of underserved youth. We are fortunate to have her with us today, and we would like to invite her up here to say a few words to us. And as she's making her way up here, she reminded me that when we opened up the College Center in 2001, she joined HISD that next year and was a teacher. And I remember she came down to my center and asked me to come and talk to her students. And I've always remembered that. And Judith and I, we've kind of paralleled in different places. She left Lee High School to go work over at Liberty High School. And I was also helping kids at night. Do we have some students here from Liberty? Did Liberty High School? Liberty? And then after that, she joined another organization called Discover You, and we partnered with that. And so now here she is as our board trustee. So thank you, Judith, for joining us this morning.
Y buenos días. Yo sé que hay intérpretes, pero como mi idioma nativa es español, quiero compartir unas pocas palabras en español, and then I'll also say some words in English. Estoy muy agradecida por estar aquí. Yo soy la presidenta de la mesa directiva del distrito escolar y vengo para traer saludos de la mesa directiva, pero más que nada para agradecer este evento, todos los que han organizado muchos esfuerzos hacen algo así posible. Entonces, a toda la organización de College Readiness estoy muy agradecida. Y quiero decirles a los estudiantes que sigan soñando, sus sueños se pueden hacer realidad. Aquí en este edificio, en sus escuelas, hay tantas personas que les quieren ayudar a hacer esos sueños realidad. Y a los padres que confían en los servicios y en las universidades y todas las cosas que están al alcance. A veces tenemos miedo de dejar nuestros hijos ir de nuestros hogares. Yo también soy mamá, tengo 3 hijos, tengo uno que está en el 12, entonces ahorita estamos aplicando y viendo todo eso y cuando lo pienso mi corazón empieza, pues me pongo muy emocional porque pienso, mi hijo se me va a ir, ¿verdad? Pero por eso existimos, ¿verdad? Queremos que ellos que sigan sus sueños y a veces tenemos que dejarlos ir, aunque nos cuesta un poco como papás. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Board of Education. We are extremely grateful for everyone that has played a part in making sure that this day is possible. We know that so many things go on in the background, so thank you to the College Readiness Department and the counselors and everyone that has put in so much effort. To the students, we are so excited. Your dreams can become a reality. There's nothing to stop you. You have so many people here in this building and at your schools that are ready to help you make all of those dreams a reality. And then to the parents, I tell you to let your kids soar, let them go. It's hard. I also am a mom of 3. My oldest is a senior. We're currently applying to colleges, and I get really emotional when I just start thinking about my kid leaving and doing the things that he's ready to do. But as parents, that's our purpose, right, is to let them go and see the world. And as hard as it is sometimes, we have to let them. So thank you again. Very grateful for this event, and I hope that it's everything that you have hoped for as well. So thank you.
Again, Judith, we thank you and all of our Board of Trustees for your dedication and support of this event. It takes courage in the political environment that we have for our political officials to come forward and to support the work that we are embarking on here today, which is to get you guys into college, right? All right. So I'm going to give you some background to some of the things that we talked about here. Because when I started at Lee High School, I guess you guys were like little, what we call, before you're born, you're like a star in the sky. So I started there in 1997. So I don't think any of my students were born at that time. So here. So first of all, I would like to give special thanks to two key HISD departments without whom this event would not have been possible. That is our College Readiness Department and our Multilinguals programs. If we could give those two departments a big applause. They started on this event like 3 months ago, and every month, every week they meet, and then the last few weeks they've been meeting almost every day. I've been seeing them up here working late. So thank you guys for your dedication to getting this event back in person, okay? We forget there's a lot of rust, and we've been used to doing everything online. So for them to get us all back at this level of engagement is incredible. So my story starts as this. Year one as a teacher, and this was, as I said, over 20 years ago, I was so impressed with my beginning ESL students. And I kept telling them, you guys, you have to attend college, and we're not even going to argue the point, okay? So I came here in 1996, I taught ESL. Raise your hand if you were in an ESL class. Okay. There's a lot of us, right? Yeah. So I was a teacher. I taught beginning ESL. I had students there at Wisdom High School from over 40 countries. Okay. It was incredible. I loved it. And just like you, they were really motivated about going to college. And but to my chagrin, they told me, they said, Mr. Johnson, we can't go to college. I said, what do you mean you can't go to college? They said, we can't go to college because we don't have papers. Now, I'm from Texas, okay? I grew up in South Texas. My grandmother is from Mexico, all right? But down there in the valley, all right, I worked with a lot of migrant students, and they're citizens. So this was my first time to work with students here at Houston that were non-citizens. So this was very new to me. All I knew was they were amazing kids, and they had the potential to go to college. But they were telling me something that really made me sad in my heart. They were telling me they could not go to college because of a piece of paper. And to me that was just so went against everything that brought me to work every day, which was to help young people take that next step. At first, I didn't believe them. I was incredulous. So I called up Houston Community College to prove them wrong. I had 3 young men that I was especially close to, the 3 Juans. They were from Monterrey and Saltillo, Mexico. Brilliant young men. And I remember they were with me that day in the afternoon. We called Houston Community College. And to my dismay, the counselor explained, I'm really sorry, but because your students are immigrants and do not have Social Security numbers, they will have to pay 3 times the tuition cost, and they will not receive any financial aid. So while they could start college, it would be not affordable. A deep voice inside me said, David, you must work to change this law. But even a deeper and more powerful voice said, you have the capacity to do it. And that's something that I want you guys to find inside yourself. It's that voice that says, I need to do something, but go deeper and listen to that voice that says, I have the capacity, I have the ability to do it, okay? At first, when we started those early days of organizing to help our immigrant students go to college and pay in-state tuition, man, I went to a lot of meetings. And I complained to a lot of folks about how unfair these laws were, but I wasn't getting far. Words, people listen to you, they're sympathetic, but you gotta put action behind those words, okay? Fortunately, I met an incredible woman named Dr. Alejandra Rincon. She was from Columbia, and she worked in the multilingual department. Remember, I think 2 departments today, college readiness and multilingual. She also wanted to change the law, and she gave me some incredible advice. She said, David, we cannot do this alone. We must work with other people. Remember that. Going to college is going to be a joint effort. When you want to do something that's really tough in your life, you listen to yourself and you say, I want to do that, I need to do that, I have the ability to do it, but the next thing is to find other people along that journey that are gonna help you, all right? And you guys are really blessed because every high school, we have amazing college counselors. And we spend a lot of time training those counselors to help students just like you. If you're an immigrant, if you're a refugee student, if you have asylum, if you're here with a green card, if you're here on your parents' work visa, dudes, I worked with every kind of student, okay? When I was at Wisdom High School. Every type of student that came from, students that came from Afghanistan, students that came from Vietnam, students that came from all over Latin America. We have taken all of what we've learned over the years. And so you guys are so blessed to have amazing counselors in your high schools, our college and career readiness advisors to help you. So back to my story. This is about 2000, oh no, it's before 2000. This is about 1999, 2000. We created an organization, Dr. Rincon and I did, and we began to connect with people across Texas. We called this organization Higher Education for Immigrants Students. There were business leaders. We brought in business leaders, politicians, and education, and of course, we brought in high school students. Alone, we realized we were powerless, but together, we were strong because we each had different talents. So strong that we went to Austin that year, and that was the year 2000, to demand that the state change the law, people listen. It was high school students, just like you, who stood in front of the Texas Congress and told their impactful stories of why the current law was not fair, and that if the laws were changed, they would be able to attend college and become professionals, become teachers, engineers, doctors, and lawyers. What was most amazing was how these students who thought they had no power realized they did have power. When HB 1403, that was what the law was originally called, went up for vote that year. Now, guys, I gotta remember at this time, if you had to have, in order to get in-state tuition at these years, in order to get in-state tuition, and remember, before this law was passed, it cost 3 times the amount to go to college, and you receive no financial aid, right? No state, this was the way it was all across the United States, okay? So this law was called HB 1403. That's what it was originally called, HB 14. Went up, and this law said, it was a real simple law. It said you live in Texas for how many years? 3 years. You graduate from high school or get your GED, that's it. We don't ask any questions about your papers. We don't ask any questions. Live here 3 years, graduate from high school, you become a Texas resident for what we call tuition purposes. So you don't have to pay that extra money, and you get some financial aid. So when we brought that idea, that was a radical idea that we brought up. Every Democrat and every Republican voted yes. And I'm gonna tell you why they all voted yes. Who wants to tell me why they all voted yes? Was it because older people like me asked them to? Or was it because who asked them to? Who did I say came and testified? Who? High school students. It wasn't us, it was you guys. It was your stories that the Congress listened to. And they passed the law. And we got everyone in Austin to accept that. Representatives voted yes, and the governor signed our bill into law. Guys, to be honest, that's why we have the Dream Summit, because young people just like you were not afraid. They listened to the voice that told them it was up to them to change their lives, and the deeper voice that told them they had the power to make it happen. Listen to the voice that says you have the capacity and the brains to attend college. But also remember, we have to work together. That's why we have the Dream Summit. So we come together and we see our family and we work together. Our family being our family that we go home with at night, that family, along with our family of counselors and advisors. That means you work side by side with your college advisor, filling out applications, rewriting essays, and visiting colleges. You network with college recruiters. You take demanding courses. You take those AP courses, those dual credit courses. Yeah, I'm an old teacher, I'm an old counselor. So I'm gonna put a little plug in there about you taking more demanding courses, all right? Help yourself to help yourself by taking those more advanced courses. And get involved in organizations. Get involved in organizations at your school. Or, you know what? Do what this guy, where's Cesar? Where's Cesar? Is he here today? Where's Cesar? Right there. Cesar, can you stand up? Do what Cesar did right here. He created his own freaking organization that now has lawyers. He was one of our students over, well, his brother was a student at Wisdom High School. Give this guy a round of applause. You know, when Cesar and his brother, they looked around and they said, we needed to create our own organization to help our people there in the Gulfton. You guys can do this. Listen, you came here this morning because you believe in yourselves. And that's part of what we're here today, is to empower you. To give you a lot of information, but for you guys to take that information and do things with it. You have the power, but only if you're not afraid to exercise it and are willing to work with others. Today, I want you to think not about my story, but I want you to think about your story. Because a few life-changing things can happen when you tell your story. You honor your past, you realize your strengths, you free yourselves from limitations, whether those are your own limitations or those who've been assigned to you. So with that, I'm thrilled to introduce you to our next speaker, who knows the power of telling your truth. He's an internationally published writer and activist who's performed the original poetry for 20 years, and he's no stranger to HISD Classroom. But most notably, perhaps, he is the 2022 Texas Poet Laureate. Please join me in welcoming longtime champion of our work, Lupe Mendez.
Buenos dias, bienvenidos, good morning. How's everybody doing on a Saturday? I am here as, I guess, dual roles. First, representing the Kinder High School for the Performing and Visual Arts as its creative writing instructor, and as the Texas Poet Laureate. I am the second Poet Laureate from the city of Galveston in the history of the Poet Laureateship, which is over 50 years old. So every new step we take in community, we take together. Today I come to you with a few messages. This is the first time that I get to be a part of the opening for the Dream Summit. I used to just close out the Dream Summit, and so I'll take a few liberties with today and this morning. I will read two pieces and try to wrap it up as quick as possible. Get comfortable, take a deep breath. If you get sleepy, you can take a nap. If you want to record, you can. Whatever you want to do. If you can't see me, it's okay. I'm right here. Two poems. This one for your families. Here is what I wanted to tell you. And once I saw the color of a rebozo flare out in the air. Mi madre lets out a llanto, mi Luciano se ha ido, and we are still here again, drinking our Nescafé over lágrimas, of the idea that the luna in the air watches us, breathes a brisa, watches us, en espera watches us, llenos de espina y canto. Estamos cubiertos de fracaso and prayers. We are covered in heartbeats and candlelight. We cannot say the name of the sun because the day would end without you here. Where are you now? I know why you are not here. I know why your seat is an empty moment. I know I could write you a letter, querido padre, but you were so busy working since a childhood, you didn't finish school long ago. And now we have notebooks filled with words for you, odes for you, rants for you, wishes for you. And once I saw all the colors of a rebozo flame out in an horno, an oven, my mother angry, throwing away in fire all the things you bought for her. The wind watches her, watches us in a hot heat, and again we grow still, making meals with the money you sent. But I would trade every cent to be near you again, to ask you what the sky looks like where you are. You are not with us, to ask you what your coffee tastes like, what a song sounds like in a different tongue. Please take me with you. Please go see the sea, touch the sand, touch a cloud, hold a grillo in your hand. Mi madre loves all the mirasoles and the cempasúchiles and the tulipanes. Hold them if you find them. Press them in between the folds of your clothes and save a flower for yourself. I can only hope you are eating at the same time we are, that you are dreaming at the same moment I wake up. Where have you been? And again, I see all the threads of a rebozo, the moment you met madre, the moment we are all born, the moment all our shoes are filled with dulces, the sound of a Christmas on your shoes, on cobblestone, the trees as they make their way for you, as you return. And I sit on an obsidian rock waiting for a moment to share a warm embrace. Again, a song, again, a hot meal and nothing more. Where are you going next? A poem for you. No. Remember all the no's you will hear, the no's you have heard, and the ones that will come after, and they will come after you. Someone will always come after you to mock you, to chase you, to shut the door in front and behind you, to wall you out. But remember the real ones that come after you, the younger ones that need you. Collect the no's. Cuenta cada una igual a una hoja de laurel. Collect them. Feel them before you let them go into a pot and boil down the taste agridulce. Hasta hazte un mondongo, un pozole, un sancocho, and offer your enemigos a plate. They won't sit at the table you make. They don't know how you made the table, how you made the plates that you molded, the cubiertos de plata out of dreams. You picked the locks and mirasoles and cempasúchiles, and then you made a flower arrangement and gave it to them. And you gave them a cenero and the fruit and the world. Please always look forward. Te lo pido de favor, please. Don't ever lay your head down vencido. You were not built to lock and look at the ground all day. You and your name were made as a promise to the four winds, to the stars, to the sea, and you should see what we see. Every teacher in every room you enter doesn't care about your status. The good ones want to know if you are all right, if you need a moment to find a compass, a moment for a breath. They want to know where you will be tomorrow, where you will be in a year. And when you ask us, do you think I will fail? We will change the subject and yell at you about that last assignment you didn't do or that essay you were supposed to turn in tomorrow. And we will hear your stomach growl. And we will ask you, when was the last time you ate? And you will say, I can't remember. And we will offer you a snack. And you will ask us again about failure, and one of us will tell you some old memory about a time when everything went wrong, and at the end of that story, we know we have already failed you. We forgot. We didn't center you. We have fallen behind. We have stumbled and left you fallen. We forgot that you already speak a language we have never known. Soñador, you speak in dreams, in tongues, in worlds, in houses, in lives, in gems, in huellas, in altares, in obras, in espíritus, in constellations that we don't even have words for. We will say we are sorry. We will tell you that we have already won because you showed up. You will ask again, Maestro, do you think I will fail? Remember what I tell you today. No, you will not fail. No, you will only rise. No, you have never failed. No, you will outlive us all. No, you are every bright star being born. No, you are better than a wish. No, you keep that head up. ¿Entiendes, Méndez? No. Ahora sigue trabajando. No. Now go to class. No. Mi soñador, please keep dreaming. Mil gracias.
Damn. There's not a single time I've heard Lupe speak and it doesn't make me cry. Thank you for your beautiful poetry. I actually met Lupe while I was working on immigrant rights work years ago, and he doesn't cease to amaze me. I'm sorry. I'm really looking forward to the work later this morning that
Good.
Sorry, y'all. I'm professional, I promise. It just hits home. I had teachers guide me along the way who said, no, you're going to be able to do it. No to people who tell you no. So it's just really badass. And I hope I can say that word. Everyone's almost 18 here. I'm really looking forward to hearing the work that he'll be performing for you all and the workshop that he'll be giving you all. It's honestly invaluable. As he helps students discover and find their own voice, their own stories, which honestly are the most valuable thing that we all have. Nobody can negate your story of self, how you got here, where you plan to go. And I know for a fact that Dr. Elizabeth Stackhouse knows exactly what that's like. She is an assistant professor of bilingual education at the College of Public Service, Department of Urban Education at the University of Houston downtown. She's an emerging scholar and passionate practitioner whose work focuses on teacher preparation and the well-being of teachers serving emergent bilinguals. Many times, bilingual students feel like they have, something missing, that they have not quite learned how to speak English. If anything, they know how to speak another language that others do not know here, and that Lupe put so perfectly well in his poetry that we just heard just now. She has over 15 years of experience as a public school classroom teacher in Title I schools and is a proud first-generation non-traditional college graduate. Dr. Elizabeth Stackhouse, are you here? There you are.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I'm just going to first say I'm not a public speaker. I'm so excited to be here, though, because I should not be here. And after hearing all the wonderful presentations and poems, that's me. There is no way that I should have made it as long as I am today. And yes, I am a professor at UHD. I'm very proud to be Hispanic. I'm very proud to be non-traditional first-generation college student. And let me tell you what that meant to me. I arrived to this country many years ago as a younger adult without a language that was required here, without a support system, without the knowledge of the systems. I navigated the immigration process, the long immigration process, with many years of trials and tribulations. I understand how difficult it is not to be heard and understood. And so I made it my path to have a better future for me and for my children. But more so, I made it my path to make sure that other people that came after me understood the value of perseverance. And you know what? The great thing is that I'm here today because those experiences helped me along the way. You know, I wish when I started the process, I wish I had access to this beautiful summit. You have the privilege to have so many people invested in your future. So many people that work tirelessly without a lot of pay. And believe me, I was talking with Ruby last night, late in the night, as she was planning the last parts of the summit. So I understand how much they care. And when people care about you, that's what builds community. And that is the community that we need to continue to grow and move forward. You know, there is an African proverb that says that if you want to get somewhere fast, you go by yourself. But if you want to get there further, you go together. And that's what this summit is all about. Putting people together, connecting you with heart, with culture, so that you can get far ahead in life. My life story can be summed up just like that. I had no role models here. I had no family members. The only family member that I had was tragically killed in an accident. I spent 5 years in litigations. Again, I didn't speak English. That was not my first language. And I'm still learning English. I will forever be a lifelong learner. But that didn't stop me, because I found a support system along the way that made that path open for me. And they were gracious enough to see the potential that I had. And they were gracious enough to connect me with essential needs. And that's what Houston ISD does. I mean, you have a college and career center. You have a multilingual department. They value you as you come. When I arrived to this country, it was the first time that I realized that I was different. And let me tell you how that sets well. Most of us come from another country. I walk that path, so I'm gonna say it very frankly. You get put in a box with a label. But that's not who I was. I didn't want to be known by the color of my skin or by the lack of language proficiency. I wanted to know about the human side of me, about my skills. And so I made that point to educate myself so that I could understand the systems, and in turn, I could help educate others about who I was. And that's why I became a teacher, because I realized that the best way to empower is through education. When I see this room, I understand, and I relive my experiences. I know what it is to live with very little. I know the aftermath of pain. I know the nightmares of trauma. I had to walk that path. But I also know that through those experiences, I became resilient. I developed grit. And that is why I was able to earn 2 master's degrees and a competitive PhD program at Texas A&M University. And today, I'm very proud to say that I place highly qualified bilingual teachers in the classroom so that they can in turn do the same with your students. You know, the theme for this conference is centered around dreams, and that is so important. I hope as the day progresses, I hope you think about your own dreams, your expectations, and really take into heart what is it that you want to do. Because the one thing that I did learn, and I know, is that in this country, there's so many resources available, and your dreams can be possible. Obviously, you have to put in the work. I will never forget taking a full class load plus 6 more hours at college. That was 20-something hours, and having 3 part-time jobs to be able to provide for my family. It is hard work, but guess what? We know, if there's one thing we know how to do, is we know how to work hard. We have perseverance, and we're not afraid to get dirty, right? We're not afraid to put in the work. The one thing that was very difficult for me was finding my voice. I don't like to share this experience very often, but I remember when my husband was killed and I was left by myself with 2 small children, and I literally had no food in the pantry to feed them. And so my preacher asked me to go to the food stamps office and be able to get some assistance. So I walk in there, but because I didn't have a voice, I could not express my needs. And so what happened is my application was denied. So I went home empty-handed. And that's when I realized I needed to learn how to speak for myself and grow a voice. And hopefully today, you start doing that. Grow your voice. Think about your desires, your dreams. How are you going to get there? There are going to be obstacles. Of course they are. But you know that already. So prepare yourself and know that you can overcome those obstacles, because all the people that have been here talking to you, they all have gone through obstacles, and they have all learned how to do hard well. And that's a good lesson to have. You have a community system, and this community is the reason why you are here today. As you navigate your path, or the path of your children, be thankful, and remember, as they say, come back later, stay connected, and help others grow. Because when we elevate each other, we will continue to grow. I hope you enjoy the day, and I hope you start dreaming without limits. And don't forget, together we can get further. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Stackhouse, for sharing your personal story and how education can help us find our voice and take action. We're now going to hear from a few young people, HISD graduates, who will share their circumstances similar to many of you here today. English was either not their first language, or they were coming from another country, and the college process, because of that, often felt overwhelming. They had to write essays, prepare for entrance exams, apply to college, and search for financial aid. But they overcame multiple obstacles to pursue their college aspirations, and I'm so excited to now welcome our HISD alumni panel. And we're just going to give the other students a few minutes to come up and up. Hello. Awesome. So I'd really love for each one of you to introduce yourself, give your pronouns, which is just the way that you like to be called: she, her, they, them, he, him. And then can you tell us what you studied or what you're pursuing? Yes, you can start.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Lopez. I am from Honduras. And I graduated from Wisdom High School. Now I just graduated from Coleman College, HCC, as dental assistant, and I'm working for Westwood Dental.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Kaylee. I graduated from Wisdom High School. Yay, Wisdom High School. I am from Honduras. Where are my Hondurans at? Yay! I'm actually going to Houston Community College right now, doing 2 years in biology, and next graduating, transferring actually to University of Houston to continue my education in medicine.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aida Santiago. I'm currently a student at Houston University of Texas. I graduated from Wisdom High School, and I'm from Guatemala.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Judith Corral. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico. I did my undergrad at the University of Houston. I majored in psychology. Now I'm a second-year student at UH doing my master's in higher education.
Thank you all so much. I'd love to know what the biggest obstacle that you had to face in order to pursue a higher education was. And whoever feels like they have an opportunity to answer first can go first, or I can call on someone.
Okay, so I can say that one of my obstacles would have been where to start. Because basically when you get out of high school, one of the first things that you ask yourself, like, how am I gonna pay for college? How am I gonna start? Where do I have to begin? And that was one of my obstacles that I had to get rid of that. So I had to look for help, and one of the help that actually worked for me was to reach out to my advisor, which actually helped me a lot, which is back there, Mr. Rodriguez. Where's Mr. Rodriguez? Hi. He was really helpful. Reach out to them, and if you ever have any questions, just go ahead and ask. And yeah, just look for help, because if you keep dreaming, you'll find it, and you'll just keep working hard for whatever you want to reach in your life.
Do you want to answer that?
So my parents are in Honduras, and they wanted a tax return paper, and I didn't have it from 2018 because I started working on 2019. Also, COVID-19 was a big obstacle. It was hard because I had to get documents from my parents, and they're not here.
So what did you end up doing in order to get into college, if those were if that was an obstacle for you at that point?
They sent me a letter from Honduras, and I translated to English, and that's how I got a scholarship.
Nice. Would you like to answer that question?
I really didn't have like many obstacles.
Can you put your mic a little closer?
For most of the obstacles I had were for SAFSA, but thankfully I have my advisors at college advisors, and they helped me a lot with that.
What was the first question that you wanted to ask your high school advisor?
First, I didn't know which career to get, so they helped me in choosing the best career for me.
What is one thing you didn't expect about the college experience your very first year?
Okay, so I'm gonna start. So my first year, I was excited but afraid because it was gonna be something new for me, getting out of high school and moving to an advantage education. But it was exciting, and I think it was my grades, because back in high school, I was not one of the smartest kids ever, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys can relate to me. And whenever I started college, like, it was very different. Like, it opened up my eyes and my mind to how different it is, how everything is arranged. It's not like high school at all. You'll like it.
Can you give a little bit of an example of what the differences are between college and high school?
One of the differences will be, I guess you have more time to do work, to study and work. Basically, you can manage your own time. It's not like high school. You have to go all day from 8 to 4 and then just study for basically the whole day. No, which is very tiring. You don't really have to do that in high school. Just work hard.
I wasn't expecting the exams to be that hard, so I had to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning to study, to find the meanings of words, and I didn't know the meaning of medical terms.
In college, one of the things that was
What is the difference between high school and college that you didn't realize existed?
in college, I usually didn't know where to go at first, so most of the students there had to help me find other places. The classes, you had to find them yourself, and like UH is really big, which also is very different since high school is a smaller place.
What is the most helpful resource that you found on campus in order for you to be successful in class?
To me, it was my advisors.
Can you explain what an advisor is in college?
An advisor is someone where you go up to and ask for help, how to apply for college, how to keep up your grades. If you want to transfer to university, they'll help you with that too. Also, if you want to apply for financial aid, for scholarships, they're the ones that you have to go to in order to get that information.
What is your relationship like with your professors that's different from a relationship with a teacher in high school?
Okay, so I think back in high school, I didn't really have a connection with my teachers. But now that I'm older, now I have to put a lot more work into my education. I have to get more closer to them. If I have a question, I have to go up to them, because if I don't have any questions and I'm still struggling to the subject, how am I gonna learn and pass the class? So I had to go up to them and ask questions that I was so scared, because sometimes I used to feel like I was alone in a classroom full of students. I used to be really scared to ask questions, because I would just think that I would just look like dumb, you know? So I used to have this professor. His name was Owen. He still teaches at Houston Community College. And I talked to him, I approached to him, and I told him what was going on with me, that I was really scary to ask questions, because I thought that everyone was gonna think that I was just somebody that just came from high school and just dumb, doesn't know what to do things. And he really taught me how to be strong and keep a voice. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask. Don't care about who's around you. You gotta be you, and you have to learn how to grow and just ask questions.
Would you say that your teachers respected you more when you started to ask questions and ask for help?
Not really, because I always felt respected towards them. They always encouraged me to keep going, ask questions. If you need any help, just come to me. So I felt always very respectful about that part.
Awesome. Do we have any questions from the audience before we wrap up?
Don't be scared, ask questions.
Can you introduce yourself? Hi.
My name is Hi, my name is Whitney EJ, and I go to Westside High School, and I'm interested. My major is health science, and my question was, you were talking about how different high school life is to college, and would you like rate how hard it would be for you to like transfer into college, like how easy it is, or is it hard, or is it like easy for us? Because you talked about, you know, how hard it was for you to like navigate your way through college the first year you started.
Okay, so at first it was hard to get into college because, like I said, I didn't know where to start. But whenever you're in college, it's not that hard to get more help because you're surrounded with colleagues that know what's going on. If you have any friends, if you're surrounded with people that actually want to help you grow and be at the more level that they are, you know. So you basically have to just ask for help. If you don't know what to do, just ask your friends, ask your advisor, ask your professors, because they'll help you out on how to transfer, how to keep up your grades and stuff like that.
You want to answer?
And any of you who are trying to apply to any program, make sure you apply early because there is a lot of competition. And for anyone interested in science program, apply early because they are very competitive. I got in because I had good grades, because I did my work, and make sure to submit everything before deadline. Also, the prerequisites are extremely important that you get good grades. That way you have more chances to get accepted. Even if you have a job or you live with someone who is not your mom or dad, you can do it.
And I would also just say, like, it may be hard to some people, but ultimately, you know, like, it's very subjective, right? And it could be hard, but we'll all help you out. And when he says apply early, there are different types of applications to colleges. There's one called early decision, regular decision. And so what he's mentioning is early decision kind of makes it a smaller pool of people that are applying for these colleges and universities, so the competition is much less. And what you're doing is, if you get accepted, that means you've already committed to attending that university. So people do advise that you apply early if you're sure about a university, because it just makes your chances of getting in higher. And when he mentioned, you know, getting good grades, of course, we all advocate for you all to get good grades, but we understand that things get in the way for you to be able to finish your homework, for you to be able to study, and that everyone has a different life at home. So even if your grades are not the best, you can always get into college, start off at a community college, and work your way up to a university with all that free time that you're gonna have in college. You know, you're not gonna be going to school all day and then having to work in the evenings. But thank you so much. Can everyone please thank our panelists? Thank you. And if you have any questions throughout the day, these are great resources. I also am a resource. Oh, we have one more question? Okay. Okay, let me get her and then we can come back.
Hi, as you said, it gets hard. I have a question. How do you keep up with college, you know? Because you said it gets hard, so I'm pretty sure you you have like doubts about dropping off. So like, how do you keep yourself motivated, you know, to keep up with college and stuff?
So the question is, what keeps me motivated? Okay, so one of the things that keeps me motivated is my parents, and because they're my rock. They're the ones who brought me to this country to work hard and just have a better education and to better myself. So I think they're my rock. They're one of the things that keep me going, and especially myself too, because I know that I'm working hard for my future, and one day I'll be able to help them more than what I'm able to do right now.
What motivates me to pursue higher education was my job because I was working at a grocery store and they weren't really paying a lot of money. What also motivated me was my family because I had to help them pay bills and also pay a lawyer and send money back to my family. In 2020, my dad had a car accident and I also had to help them with hospital bills.
Okay, we have one last question.
My name is Guadalupe, and my question is, did you face any language barriers and were there any resources to help you?
In college or in high school?
College.
Personally, I never faced any language barriers, but there are many resources who help you. Like if you speak Spanish, for example, they have Spanish and English resources, but you have to look for them.
I did experience that in college, the first day of college when I started the program. But what I did, I used to wake up really early in the morning, 3 a.m. to find meanings of word, and I have a notebook to write every meaning of words. And since I was also working full-time job, I had to learn how to manage time.
Okay, that's it for the panelists. Can everyone just thank them for their time?
Can I say something else? Okay, so one thing I'm about to tell you guys, don't worry. Don't worry about what the future holds. Just keep working hard and don't worry about who's gonna pay for college or how are you gonna get there. Just, there's a lot of people who are able to help you get there and so many resources out there. I am a TASFA student and I never learned anything. I didn't even know what TASFA was because all I could hear was FAFSA, literally. And when my friends told me about that, I was like really excited because I'm an immigrant and I couldn't be able to apply for the FAFSA because you have to be a U.S. citizen in order to apply for that. And when my advisor told me about the TASFA, I was really excited because it gave me a lot of hope to go to college and to be able to pay for it. And so it was a big accomplishment. So yeah, don't worry where you're gonna be in like the next 10 years in your life. Just worry about what's going on right now and just keep working hard and don't worry about what's gonna happen in the next years, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and switch things up. We're going to have Joaquin Quero from the Gonzalez Oliveri law firm give us a presentation on knowing your rights. Thank you, Joaquin.
Thank you so much. Morning, everyone. My name is Joaquin Quero. I'm an immigration attorney for Gonzalez Oliveri. I'm from Puerto Rico. And today I want to talk to you guys about your rights, okay? I just want to explain basic by starting by saying that the fact that you're here as an undocumented person doesn't mean that you don't have rights, okay? We all have basic rights under the American Constitution, okay, even undocumented people, okay? Briefly, I want to talk about what to do if either ICE or the police detain you at your home, on the streets, or even in your vehicle. What to do, how to react, what are your rights, what things you can and cannot do, okay? So briefly, I want to talk about what to do when police or ICE come to your home. You have rights at your home, okay, as an owner, as a resident of that property. Okay, first of all, you have to stay calm whenever they come. Whenever they knock on that door, don't get frustrated, don't get angry at them, just stay calm, okay? Do not allow them to go into your property. For them to go into your house, they're gonna need a warrant, okay? That warrant needs to be signed by a judge. There's different warrants. For example, there's a warrant for arrest and some warrants for search, okay? A warrant for an arrest allows the police, and only the police, not immigration agencies or authorities, only the police, to enter the property that it's named, okay, that's at the address that it's named or labeled at that warrant, and to look for the person that's on that warrant, not for anybody else, okay? So if that warrant's not for you, that warrant's not for your address, you don't have to let them in, okay? Even though they're the police and they might want to go in, you don't have to allow them. It's your right, it's your property, okay? If they have a search warrant, okay, they can only search the property or the artifacts permitted in that warrant. For example, if the warrant only states that they can search a computer or a patio of the property, they cannot search anything else around the property, only those objects. If the warrant is for the property itself, then you have to allow them to go in. But remember, that warrant has to be signed by a judge. If an immigration officer goes to your house and shows you, let's say a warrant for arrest for an immigrant, because that immigrant has a deportation order, removal order, that warrant does not allow them to go into your property. Why? Because it's not signed by a judge. It's signed by an immigration officer, an immigration agent. So you do not have to allow them to go into your property and search for anyone, okay? Have that in your mind. You don't need to allow them. They're gonna want to, they're gonna ask you, but you don't have to concede to that. It's your right, it's your property, okay? It's your home. Remember that. So make sure, first of all, that they have a warrant, and if they don't allow them into your house. And if they do have a warrant, what do you do when they come to your house? Do not open the door. Ask them to show you that warrant. Either pull it down the door, show it on the window, read it. Not because they show you a paper doesn't mean that they're allowed to go in. Read it, look at it. Does it have your name? Does it have the name of anybody living in your house? Is that address correct? Okay, is the name of that house, is the number of that house the correct one? Or is it the next one? If it's not yours, even if they want to, even if the name is correct, you don't have to allow them in. Okay, that information is not correct, then it's not your property, then you don't have to allow them in. Okay, look for a signature. If it says that it's from a judge, okay, if it's law enforcement and it says that's from a judge, then you have to allow them to go in and do their job. But if it's from an immigration officer and not a judge, they don't have any rights to go into your property, okay? So know that. That's the basic place, and those are the basic steps to protect yourself, okay? If they do have a warrant, like I said, you do have to let them in, okay? And even if they want to arrest you, you have to allow them if you're the person named, and do not fight them, okay? The place to fight and argue with law enforcement is not on the streets, it's not on your house, it's a court, okay? You don't have the best chances of winning in an argument with an officer at your home or on the streets. So don't start a fight with them, okay? So if you're outside of your home, let's say you're just walking around the streets and law enforcement comes to you and asks you for your ID, for your information, you don't need to provide them that information, okay? They don't have a right for that information on you. Unless they think or they have a knowledge of that you've committed a crime, okay, or that you're in your way of committing a crime, you don't need to provide them information. You don't need to provide them with your identification or any way. You don't need to let them know that you're not from the United States. You don't need to let them know what country you're from, okay? They're gonna want you to show your information. They're gonna ask you for it. And you politely decline to show it to the officer. Don't get mad at them again. Don't get angry at them. They're just doing their job, okay? But politely decline to give them that information and ask them why are they asking that information. If the officer gives you a reason, if they say that you're either committing a crime or that they think that you're in the process of committing one, ask them for why, how, when, okay? If they can't provide you that information and just asking because they want to know who you are, you have the right to decline to provide your information, okay? You have the right to decline to a search on yourself, okay? The police officers can pat you down for their own security, outside of your clothes, just touch you around, that you're just search for weapons, okay? But they cannot search your pockets, they cannot search your jacket, they cannot search your property on yourself, okay? Unless you allow them to, okay? Second, if you're not under arrest or you don't know, ask the officer. Officer, excuse me, am I under arrest? Yes or no? If you're under arrest and he says yes, ask him why. What's the reason? If he says no, then just calmly and quietly walk away. If the officer does not state that you're detained or arrested for any reason. You're allowed to walk away. You don't have to remain at that place or remain with the officer. Okay? You have all the right to just calmly and quietly turn your back and keep walking on your way. Okay? So, what to do? Don't resist. If they come to you, if it happens, don't resist. Because once you resist, then it becomes a problem. You're resisting the arrest or the search of an officer without any reason. Again, place to fight and argue with police officers is not on the street, it's in court. Okay? Just stay calm and do not obstruct them. Let them do their jobs. Okay? Again, ask the officers if you're free to leave. And if you are, calmly and quietly do so. If they don't let you leave and they say you're arrested, then ask them why. If you're in a vehicle and the police stop you and they ask you for your ID, driver's license, and identification, you have to show it to them. Okay? You have to understand, in order for you to operate a motor vehicle on the streets, you have to be permitted. Okay? If they ask you for a document and you have it, you have to show it to them. If you don't have documents, you can just remain silent and tell them you don't want to talk. You have a right to remain silent from any law enforcement intervention. Okay? You don't have to speak, you don't have to tell them or provide any information to them. Okay? Just tell them. It's a right that you have, but you have to say it out loud. Officer, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to talk, and don't say anything further, because if you keep talking afterwards, then you're refusing that right. Okay? And ask for a lawyer. Tell them, I don't want to say anything else, I want my lawyer. You're allowed for a call, a local call, either for a family member or an attorney. So use that phone call wisely. Okay? Don't call a friend. Call somebody that you know that can help you, somebody that can get you help, either an attorney or a family member. Okay? Both you, the driver, and the passenger have the right to remain silent. Okay? You don't have to consent to a vehicle search. If they want to search your car, you don't have to allow them to go in, unless they have a belief that you've either committed a crime or you're on your way to commit a crime. Okay? And being illegal in the United States or undocumented is not a crime. Okay? So know that. You don't have to allow them to go into your vehicle and search. What happens if the police stops you? Do not flee. Don't evade arrest. Because again, now you're committing a crime. If the police stop you, look for a safe place to stop. Well-lit place, gas station. Okay? Somewhere like that. Just as quickly as possible, just stop and roll over to the side. Turn off your vehicle and always place your hands at the place where the police can see your hands. Don't make them nervous. They're already nervous enough doing their job. So always place your hands either in the steering wheel or somewhere where the police can see them. Upon request, show them your driver's license if you have one. If you don't, just remain silent. Okay? If there's a passenger in your vehicle, the passenger can ask law enforcement if they can leave freely. Are you detaining me or just the driver? If you can leave freely and it's practical, then you're free to leave. Walk away from the situation. Allow yourself distance from the situation. Okay? Just to avoid trouble. Remember, if you're arrested, you have a right to a local phone call. Okay? If it's with a lawyer, the police cannot be listening to that phone call. They cannot be beside you. Okay? And you always have a right to a lawyer if you've been arrested by law enforcement. Either, if not provided, if you can't provide it yourself, the government can provide it to you. Okay? If you guys have any further questions, we're in the 3rd floor, and we're doing free consultations. Okay. Thank you guys very much, and have a great day.
And again, just so everybody knows, that was Joaquin from the Gonzalez Oliveri law firm. You can also find free Know Your Rights information and resources on United We Dream's website. And Cesar Espinosa is also here from Fiel. They provide Know Your Rights free resources and trainings as well. Oh, and we also have Know Your Rights papers. So if you would like one, you can come up and get one. I would honestly suggest everyone just keep one at home. But other than that, if everyone can, let's see. At this time, I'd like to welcome Ruby Rivera, who coordinated this amazing event, and she will be reviewing the logistics for the rest of the day. So just give us 1 extra minute.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Before I do a quick logistical wrap up, we want to see who is represented in this room. So
the way this is going to work is we are going, myself and Cesar Espinosa Priel, we will be shouting out different countries. And if you are from there, you will hoop and holler. If that works, yeah?
But you gotta get ready though. Shake, shake, shake. Ready? 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 Okay. Pueden echar un grito también si quieren. All right.
Anybody from Honduras?
Honduras.
That is awful. Try that again.
No comieron baleadas.
Anybody from Honduras? That's a little bit. Okay, Cesar.
Anybody from Guatemala?
Guatemala. They're so quiet.
You're supposed to shout.
Sí, tienen que gritar, decir algo. Viva Guate.
Anybody from El Salvador? And of course.
Okay.
Mexico.
Anybody from Mexico?
All right. Anybody from Venezuela? Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
Anybody from Brazil?
They're at home being a little heartbroken. Anyone from Afghanistan? Yay!
Anybody from Kenya? No? Okay.
Anybody from Ghana?
Okay. Okay, what other countries are we missing? Colombia. Dubai? Uruguay. Okay. What else? Cuba. Nigeria.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
bueno.
That if we did not call out your country, at some point later today, please come and inform us, because that's one of the things we want to make sure that we capture in each one of the Dream Summits. It's expansive. The district serves students from all over the world, and so we want to make sure that you're recognized.
And everybody, we're doing a big wave. We're taking a couple big shots. Oh, pero ya se fue. It's okay.
Alain? Oh, la foto. Yes.
All right, so when the photographer gets to the middle, we're going to count down to 3, and then everybody's going to wave and shout so that we get one really great photo, yes? All right, count of 3.
1.
Ready? 1, 2.
I say 1, 2, 3.
He's fancy.
One more?
But nobody moves because he's taking shots.
Okay.
Oh,
And I
okay.
don't want people is that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want
So nobody move, everybody
somebody
freeze.
moving, right? Don't move.
Alain is also a
That
drone.
camera's
thank you.
intimidating.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and just go into what we're here. Thank you so much for your patience. We also want to give a big shout out to Daniel Rodriguez and the rest of the volunteers. At this time, if you're using a headset, please return that in the back of the room. You can look at all of our multilingual department. They will be picking that up. If you are grades 9 through 11th, you will remain here if you are 9 through 11th. If you are seniors, you'll be going to the second floor. And parents, you will be going to E1, E101 on the first floor. At this time, all parents can leave and seniors can leave.